For many Nigerians, Kenneth Okonkwo was more than a Nollywood legend. After rising to national fame through his role in Living in Bondage, he reinvented himself as a lawyer and later became one of Nigeria's most outspoken political commentators. Ahead of the 2023 presidential election, he emerged as one of the loudest voices behind Peter Obi and the Labour Party. Through television appearances, courtroom arguments, and media interviews, Okonkwo passionately defended Obi's candidacy and presented the Labour Party as a credible alternative to Nigeria's traditional political establishment. For many supporters of the Obidient movement, he became one of the campaign's most recognizable faces. Today, the same Kenneth Okonkwo has now accepted the role of spokesperson for Atiku Abubakar under the African Democratic Congress ADC coalition ahead of the 2027 presidential election.
The allegation in court that you were defaming, I sat down here, gave you the names of the people that told me I did not even say the I was trying. Some of them are discriminating.
The development has reignited a familiar question in Nigerian politics. Do politicians follow ideology or political strategy? Kenneth Okonkwo's political journey has been equally eventful. Before joining the Labour Party, he had previously associated with the APC. His decision to support Peter Obi in 2022 was widely seen as a commitment to a new political direction. And throughout the 2023 campaign, he became one of Obi's most forceful defenders, frequently contrasting Obi's vision of a new Nigeria with the records of both the APC and the PDP. However, the relationship between Obi and Okonkwo gradually deteriorated after the election. Following the announcement of the 2023 presidential results, many Labour Party supporters believed the election had been marred by irregularities and called for national-wide protest. Peter Obi consistently urged his supporters to remain calm, avoid violence, and pursue all grievances through legal and constitutional channels. He maintained that any struggle for justice must remain peaceful and within the rule of law. Kenneth Okonkwo took a different view. In subsequent interviews, he argued that Peter Obi's response demonstrated a lack of political assertiveness. He repeatedly described Obi as a weak politician, insisting that a leader seeking fundamental political change must sometimes take firmer political positions beyond courtroom litigation. Their differences extended beyond the post-election period as internal leadership disputes continued within the Labour Party. Okonkwo publicly criticized the party's inability to resolve its crisis. He argued that Peter Obi, as the party's most influential figure, should have exercised stronger leadership instead of remaining neutral. Eventually, he announced his resignation from the Labour Party, saying the party was no longer adequately positioned to challenge for power in 2027. Supporters of Peter Obi strongly disagree with Okonkwo's assessments. They argued that Obi's refusal to encourage street protests reflected responsible leadership in a country where political demonstrations have often turned violent. In their view, his insistence on constitutional processes protected lives, upheld democratic principles, and reinforced his commitment to peaceful political engagement. Critics, including Okonkwo, maintain that the movement required stronger political mobilization and that excessive caution weakened the momentum generated by the Obidient movement. That philosophical difference appears to have become one of the defining reasons their political paths diverged. Now, by accepting the role of spokesperson for Atiku Abubakar under the ADC coalition, Kenneth Okonkwo has once again placed himself at the center of Nigeria's political conversation. To some observers, the move reflects political maturity and the reality that opposition parties must build up a broad coalition if they hope to defeat the ruling party in 2027. Others see it differently. They argue that a politician who once sharply criticized the political establishment has now aligned himself with one of his most enduring figures, raising questions about consistency and ideology. Whether Kenneth Okonkwo's latest political move represents strategic coalition building or a departure from the principles he championed in 2023 will ultimately be judged by Nigerians at the ballot box. One thing, however, is undeniable. The man who once stood among Peter Obi's fiercest defenders is now leading the public messaging for Atiku Abubakar's 2027 presidential bid, one of the most remarkable political realignments in Nigeria's recent democratic history. Was Kenneth Okonkwo justified in leaving Peter Obi and the Labour Party, or do his recent political choices contradict the ideas he once passionately defended? Join the conversation in the comment section. Like, share and follow Busy Media for more balanced political analysis, in-depth stories, and conversations that go beyond the headline.
His tenacity to bring about a great Nigeria. That is
Busy
what
of
I
the
am
Busy
seeing.
Media.
And
Thank you for coming, Don Minshon.
bring him in to bring that value to Nigeria. Look at him.